Hi everyone, why don't you come on in and you can get started right away on the matching game, and that you can find on the desk that's over on the side of the wall. So students will come in and they will be prompted right away to get started on their matching game. This matching game is unlike any other matching game that they've ever been exposed to before, and I provided a few examples of what this will look like. So students, as you come in and work on your matching game, I want you to recognize that your cards are not going to be very similar. These are going to be different cards, and you will have to match them to the birds to the different food items that you think that these birds will eat. So as students come in with very different prior knowledge or almost no prior knowledge, this task is going to be extremely challenging for most students. I will not intervene any more than this and allow students to build that frustration and initial interest and kind of guide their initial understanding. So now that we've had a chance to work on a warm-up, I want us to look at our learning target for today before we go into our activity. So our learning target that we are going to focus on is students will be able to argue if an organism will survive given the environment and the character traits that it possesses. So we are going to dive a little bit deeper today within our activities. So we are going to get into groups of 3, and in your groups I want you to pick one student to come up to the desks and pick out your materials. So when students come up and pick their materials, then they will move back to their desks and kind of sort out the materials. So there's going to be environmental cards that they will get a stack of. They will get food items that they will also get a pile of, and then beak items, but I will not specifically use the term beak just yet. And these will be like items such as tweezers, spoon, a straw, scissors, any sort of items that can pick up something else. So now that you have your materials, I want you guys to lay out your environmental cards. So there should be 5. There should be a rainforest card, forest, ocean, desert, and mountain cards. If you will look, you will see on the back of those cards there's also food items that can be found here. So at the rainforest you will see that there is going to be fruit that you will find there. As well, in the mountains you are going to find seeds. So in your pile of food materials that you just picked, I want you to find the fruit and the seeds, as well as the desert, ocean, and forest food items. And I want you to locate those, create piles of those closest to the environment that they belong in. Do that now, please. It should take just a few moments. So after students have had a chance to do that, then I will come back in and I will have students now investigate using the beak materials. So now that we've organized our activity, I want you guys to use the other materials. So you will have the tongs, there's a straw, tweezers, scissors. There's a range of things that you guys can use to pick up the food items. I want you guys to determine which picking up item is best fit for the food item, and kind of investigate the advantages and disadvantages of that specific picking up material for that food. So in this activity, I will not really intervene. I will kind of guide understanding if needed by asking students to look at how they know when a picking up material is better or worse than another one, but I won't really provide any other additional context, as this should just be student involved in exploring their own questions. I provided a slide of, if you were teaching this specific lesson, I provided a slide of different items that you can include. So you can include fruits, nuts, plants, fish, as you're not going to bring real fish into the classroom. You could have Swedish fish, ants, or beans, seeds, and then the different like beak materials or picking up materials, as you would relate them to students first before introducing this concept. There's numerous things you could do: scissors, tweezers, suction cup things, tongs, ladles, spoons, straws, you name it. Anything that you think could relate to a bird's beak. So this activity should take about 20-30 minutes as students are investigating this, or 15 to 20 minutes as students are investigating this. So now that we've had a chance to determine which materials are best to pick up the food items, let's have a chance to share what we found. So can somebody describe to me what they believe is the best material for best picking up material for the rainforest, and then the forest, and then the ocean, and the mountains, and the deserts? And students will explain that they will share what they found. And then I will also ask, can somebody describe, or can your groups discuss how one picking up material was best for the food material in that environment? So this specific question will kind of lend students to the idea that one beak or a range of beaks are going to be designed specifically for that environment that they live in. So a sharp and short beak is going to penetrate like the tough, like hard exterior foods a lot better, maybe found in the desert, compared to the ocean, who will have softer beaks as they don't need to crunch their food as hard. And then within your groups, I also want you guys to discuss why you guys think that bird beaks are different. So this is the big idea within the lesson. This will kind of lend to the idea of adaptation. I'm not going to introduce that word just yet, but students will gain an understanding, or kind of explain why they think birds change and how this relates to their environment. So students will explain that birds' beaks are different because of the food that they have to eat, as well as the environment that they live in. So if they aren't able to eat the food in that environment, then they're not going to survive. And students will explain this in detail within this component. Now that we've all had a chance to explain our ideas, I want us to move forward and watch this quick video. So, like, purposes for this specific video, I'm not going to play this YouTube link, but it outlines adaptation and behavioral and structural adaptations. It describes the definitions of these vocabulary terms for students and provides context with visuals specifically related to birds and how beaks possess these different adaptations. So after the video, can somebody share with me the different adaptation that we investigated within our own activity today? Yes, we talked about how beaks is a different adaptation. And then also, I want you guys to discuss with a partner near you, is this a behavioral adaptation or is this a structural adaptation, and why? So students at this time, they would discuss that this is a structural adaptation because the organism's behavior is not changing. This is a specific adaptation or a change in the organism's character traits that we can visibly see. Now I want you guys to pick out your matching games again, and I want you to give this another shot now that we have a little bit more understanding on bird beaks, adaptation, and the different environments and food materials that they may eat. So although students may not specifically know the food item that each bird is going to eat, they're going to have a lot more understanding on the beak types and how this relates to the food. So if you see in the matching game, a toucan has a lot bigger of a beak, so it can eat those like harder exterior fruits. Or a kingfisher has a very small but a longer beak. They are going to be eating the fish or the tadpoles because they're a lot softer. So students hopefully are going to make that connection. The bird beaks are going to be eating the softer or harder materials. Now I want us to move into the assessment component of this lesson. So each of you are going to get a piece of paper and you are going to be creating your own bird. This does not have to be a bird that you have seen before or a bird that is actually real. This can be a totally made up, but you need to describe on your poster how the bird's beak alters its food consumption and which environment you will best see this bird in, or what environment it will best survive in. So you will need to outline this and create a specific diagram showing arrows to the bird's beak. Students will have to draw or include color. They can draw shapes, different lengths, as a wide range of different bird beaks. You guys can even take it a step further and create different adaptations, not just beaks. So maybe you want to change the color of the bird or anything else. After you have had a chance to work on your poster and you finish, then you can put it on the whiteboard and students will your other peers will walk around and take a look at your drawing. After every student has had a chance to walk around, finish their assessments, I will bring back in to close as well as focus on the learning target again. So now that we have had a chance to investigate how bird beaks have changed over time through adaptations, we as students can argue that an organism will survive or may not survive in a specific environment because of the beak characteristics that it possesses, knowing that the food item found within that environment the bird can consume because of its beak.